Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today, this is going to be the final pitch I'm ever going to do on my YouTube channel. So yeah, let's get into this. It's going to be the DCU, what I'll have it be for Phase 6. And this will be the end of what, my version of DCU. Or at least, where I'll talk about it. Everyone else, y'all can think about what will happen next and what could happen next. But right now, I'm just going to end off right here. Well, for me, at least. Y'all can pick up from here if y'all want. In the comments or something in your minds, whatever. But yeah, we're gonna start off, okay, with Phase 6, the TV show, which is gonna be Starro, the Conqueror. So Starro the Conqueror will be about, Starro infiltrating Earth, and this will be the father, okay? The mother, she's still not here, because Naomi would have had, the sons, Suicide Squad Season 4 would have had, sort of the random minions, and we saw the damage that could have done, that did in the Suicide Squad Season 4, so imagine what the father's gonna do. But yeah, so father, he appears on Earth, and then, Martian Manhunter, he's the main hero here. He has to go and try to find, all the star creatures and destroy them. And the reason he originally knew about the star creatures, because he went to Mars to try to find, the white Martians, because he heard the white Martians were, taking green Martian captive, okay, and they're all still here. So then he went, and then he found out all the white Martians are dead with a starfish creature on their face. But yeah, so then, Martian Manhunter takes him back, but Miss Martian, okay, because Miss Martian, that's the Green Martian who had been captive, says don't do it. And Martian Manhunter didn't really listen, and that's obviously going to bite them later. So now, they meet, Batwoman, who's the secondary hero, and the rest of the story is basically like a road trip, because this will be, the first episode will, tackle into her story, like, a little bit. And but the rest of the show will be like a sort of road trip thing with those, like with these four, and the reason I say four instead of three because Captain Atom will also be here. So it'll be a road trip story, but mostly it'll mostly be about obviously Kate and Martian Manhunter. They'll become best friends, and Martian Manhunter dealing with the grief of losing his best friend Superman, his old best friend. And because they started the whole Justice League, okay? They started the whole Justice League. If it wasn't for, Martian Manhunter, Superman would not be alive. And if it wasn't for, Superman, Martian Manhunter would not have revealed himself and, became the hero he is today. He would still probably be in hiding or worse, captive. So now, in the end, they all team up. They beat Starro, the father. But then, the post-credit scene of the show, it does seem that the mother is still there, okay? She's still there, and she's been gearing up. And that's going to be, sort of the end. That's how, the Star Trilogy would end. Or whatever you want to call it, Starro Saga would end with the mother, okay? And her being the most powerful with the most minions, okay? About to come out of her shell. Also, the main Star creature that was in Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad, will not be my version of Suicide Squad Season 4. I just have to make that clear, not be my version. But yeah, let's move on to the next movie or show. Next up, we have Superman, the TV show. And this will be about Connor Kent, him fully become, as Superman, because the last movie, with him is as Superboy, him, ending me Superboy, and finally becoming Superman at the end. But in this movie, he is actually finally Superman, and, he's, trying to just be the best Superman as he can. The world's trying to accept that. The original Superman is gone. We have this new guy, okay, who's, now Superman. But the main villain here would be Lena Luthor, who tried to take her place, okay, after her brother obviously died a couple movies ago. And, she sends Lex Box after Superman. The new Superman. And then, obviously, it does not work. And a lot of people, maybe thinking, oh, hey, this TV show is called Superman. How do you know someone won't get confused with movies? Movies will be called Man of Steel, all three of them. This one will be called Superman. So then in the end, Superman, he beats Lena Luthor, and then, takes her to prison. But, in the last episode, they have sort of a big ending, okay? The big ending is, obviously, Superman, fully becoming Superman, the public accepting that. But the I'm not even going to call it post-credits. The actual ending of the show is big. Because it's going to lead into the next show, which will technically be a two-part, I guess you can say. And that is, Supergirl. Yep, she's alive. And then that's because, Lena Luthor, she had a sort of Phantom Zone projector inside her collection. And, when that whole thing was raided by the police to get everything out of there, one of the policemen accidentally opened the Phantom Zone, and then they let out, of course, Supergirl, and she's so confused, and that's gonna lead into the next show where we find out how she got in there in the that show to the missing finale, because this is gonna be crazy. So next up we have Supergirl. And this will be a 2-season thing. This will be a 2-season show, and both of these will come out pretty much at the same time, okay, at the same year back to back. So season 1, that will basically be an origin of her and how she landed, and then Superman found her. And I don't mean the new Superboy or the new Superman, like who's actually Clark Kent. I mean Clark Kent Superman. And I know why you're like, oh, how come you just can't let him die? That's because I put myself in a sort of a plot hole, cause well, not a plot hole, but I put myself in like sort of a corner. Cause how am I going to have Supergirl without actually meeting Superman? But yeah. So season 1 will be a flashback show or season, like where he meets Superman and they team up, and then in the end, Supergirl presumably dies because of like one of LexCorp's machines, which is a modified Phantom Zone projector, and the person who put him there is obviously Lex Luthor, who'd be kind of like the main villain. Okay, and then season 2 will pick up after everything. Okay, we pick up after Superboy, and after she's found, and season 2 she'll break out, and then everyone's like, oh, what's going on? Superboy find out there's new Kryptonian. But yeah, so then we see Superboy chase Supergirl, and then Supergirl, she's able to realize that, oh hey, that's not Clark Kent, that's not my cousin, and yeah. So then, we see them sort of fight, but then in the end, he says that he's Superman, and then Kara said, "You're not Superman. Let's go to Clark Kent." Then, well, of course, Superman finds out that not only does obviously Supergirl know that who Clark Kent is in the original Superman, but she knows like his name instead of being called Kal-El. So it's not just another Kryptonian. She must have known him on Earth. 'Cause that's his only name on Earth. Okay, so he realizes that he actually knew, she actually knew him. But yeah, we get a whole origin. Well, we already got the origin, but we get the whole origin explained to Superboy, and then Superboy's like, wow. And then he heard of Supergirl. Okay, he was able to piece together that's obviously Kara Danvers or Kara Zor-El. He's able to piece that together because Superman before, okay, like he mentioned that he had another sidekick. Okay, that is actually before Man of Steel Part 3 or around that time, like a little bit before. But yeah, she mentioned that, or he mentioned that, but he never sort of talked about her because, well, he thought that she died, and that was his biggest mistake, letting her in. But in reality, she was just in a Phantom Zone. And then Superboy tells Supergirl about how, well, Superman, he's gone. And then we see Supergirl break down that her cousin's gone. But yeah, and now this show is basically like us getting a team up. I got Superman and Supergirl, and this is like sort of a two-parter, of course, like the Superman show, the new Superman show, and now we have Supergirl, this TV show. But yeah, so it'll be a team up. The main villain will be Cyborg Superman, and also all the other Superman. Okay, well, this will be our first appearance of Steel, and this will basically be like kind of dealing with the Death of Superman arc, along with obviously Superman's Supergirl there, and that's because they all want sort of peace of the new Superman, because they all want to be Superman except Steel. Okay, Steel, he's a good guy along with Supergirl. Okay, she's a hero. But they're teaming up with the new Superman. But everyone else, okay, we get Talrod, aka the Eradicator. We got Cyborg Superman. Okay, we got like another Superman, which would be like original Superman character. All of them are trying to find Superman and kill him. So it's gonna be a 3v3. But in the end, obviously, the heroes win, and Steel, he goes out do his own thing, and so does Supergirl. And Superman, he stays in Metropolis, while Supergirl, she's like, I'm gonna go to his hometown, meet his family, and that's gonna lead to a Supergirl movie that we eventually get into. Okay, kind of gotta beat this up because they're only on third one. This video's already 11 minutes. Okay, so this will be another Firestorm movie, which would basically be another Firestorm, or kinda, which would be, well, actually, why I say another Firestorm? He's not another Firestorm. He's a completely different character. He's Superman Prime. Superman or Superman Boy Prime, whatever you want to call him. With Firestorm, he has to stop him, but of course, he fails, because, come on, Firestorm versus Superman Prime, and then Ryan Raymond, he comes back to the main reality, okay? He comes back to our Earth and leaves the Firestorm Matrix and become we get the ultimate Firestorm, where all the Firestorm, okay? Martin Stein, Jefferson Jackson, and also Ryan Raymond, they all team up and try to stop Superboy Prime, but that's basically nothing to him. And then he destroys them, basically. And in the end, Martin Stein, he ends up, dying. Okay, he ends up dying, sacrificing himself to try and hold Superboy Prime back a little bit. And then I end up sending him to a different sort of Firestorm Matrix, which he will eventually escape from. But at least the heroes will be able to warn, or Firestorm will be able to warn the entire, Justice League, all the heroes, that there's a new threat coming, and none of them are powerful enough to stop him. But then in the end, we find out that Superboy Prime, he's absorbing, dead people's powers. That's how he has, Superman's power. Well, obviously, he's Kryptonian, but now he's even stronger with Superman's powers, and now he has a piece of the Firestorm Matrix, which was the main thing he came for. That's why he was trying to kill all of the Firestorm, just to get all the Firestorm Matrix. Well, at least he got a piece of it, which is enough for him to just boost up in a lot of power. So imagine him with all of that. But yeah, and the end credit scene is, of course, Ryan Raven and Firestorm, form together, become a new Firestorm, and then they go warn all the other heroes. And by all the other heroes, I mean they warn Superman and Supergirl. Next, we have a Swamp Thing TV show, which become a horror TV show covering his origin. And I'm telling you this right now. This is gonna be the exact same as the Swamp Thing TV show that was on DC Universe or whatever you want to call it for a while, but then got canceled. It'll be almost the exact same. It'll cover his origin, and then cover sort of his life after Justice League Dark. Yeah, like in the last episode, will be basically the exact same as the TV show, because that TV show was absolutely amazing. I don't want to change a single thing. I basically would just put that on the DCEU. Next up, we got Justice League Dark 3, which would basically just be, them covering the multiverse. And yeah, okay, this will tackle the multiverse a lot. And also, the Spectre will become new sort of mentor for them after the Phantom Stranger sort of retired. Yeah, so now we have, the Spectre, and the main villain here would be, well, not the Spectre, okay, he would be like sort of the mentor, but the main villain here would be Eclipse. And I know that Eclipse is already in Justice League Dark 3, but he's back, and he's here to fight. But yeah, in the end, Eclipse, he calls him a fool, because he's here to warn them, okay, not fight them, okay. He wants to destroy this world so he can stop a new threat, and that is actually the Anti-Monitor. And yeah, but the end credit scene is the Justice League Dark being warned by Firestorm about, of course, Superboy Prime, and then they think that has something to do with the Anti-Monitor because of the whole multiverse thing. Yeah, that'll be the end of Justice League Dark 3. Let's move on to the next one, which is actually another TV show, which will be basically the Spectre and his origin. Last episode, it'll be, okay, I'm just gonna be honest. The last episode, it'll just be, him, like during Justice League Dark, or before, I guess you can say. Okay, and then, this will be after the warning, the last episode. And there'll be basically no main villain. I mean, I guess you can say the main villain will be the old Spectre, the Spectre Energy, because that whole thing, they're sort of corrupted a bit, but then they end up changing after they meet their new host, which is the host of Justice League Dark 3. We also see a little bit of the Phantom Stranger, in a couple episodes. We see him make a cameo in about 3 episodes. He'll make a cameo just to be there and be the comedy relief. He was sort of retired. He became more human now. Next, we have a Justice League Dark animated show, which will cover the origin. Okay, everyone besides Deadman. But yeah, it'll be an animated show with all the voice actors covering their origins, and all of that. Constantine, it'll show his origins, when he first met Neuron and became a magic user, and then in the end retired. And again, these will all be split into the season, even though all these seasons will come out back to back. But yeah, they actually getting his whole origin, with the knight and being cursed, but yeah. So that'll be his story with all of them. We got, well, obviously all of their stories. But then next up, we have the Suicide Squad origins, which will basically be going over each character of the Suicide Squad and going over their origins. And yeah, and that'll be it for the origins animated TV shows. And wondering why I didn't do one for the JSA or Justice League. That's because Justice League, their movies are basically origin. Their first movie is always just origins. Okay, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, all of them are origins. And then we already covered the origins before in all these movies. So there's no need for them to make a whole anime season off of it. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Also, for Suicide Squad and Justice League Dark, it'll not cover the team origins, okay, because we already saw in the movies or show. It'll cover, each individual character origins, Harley Quinn, Deadshot, Rick Flag, all of them, and every single character, who ever been this part of the Suicide Squad, and my version of the pitches, or in the show. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have a Booster Gold movie. We'll tackle his origins, and him from the future, and then going to the past. Yeah, so the main villain here will be Blackguard, his first enemy, at least in this. Okay, and then we will see him, discover time travel for him. Okay, obviously time travel will still be a thing, but he's able to find out himself how time travel he does. And then, yeah, he beats Blackguard through time. And in the end, we see him just decide to stay back in time. Okay, just because he wants to go back in time, be the hero, and be like, oh, hey, look, I'm an absolute hero. I was one of the first heroes. And then, we see him, okay? We see him at the end credit scene. We see him meet the first Blue Beetle, or second Blue Beetle, aka Ted Kord. And that's leading into a second movie with them being buddy cops. Next, we have a Doom Patrol movie. This will be the origin of Doom Patrol and them coming together. Main villain will be Miss Nobody. I don't think that Doom Patrol gets that much love. Someone give them their own movie. Yeah. So now, Doom Patrol, they'll beat Mr. Nobody at the end of the movie. And then, they'll go down as some, like, the biggest heroes after they meet the Justly Dark, because they'll have a cameo in this, okay? And by Justly Dark, I mean just Constantine and Zatanna. They'll be in this as the end credit scene. But besides that, it's basically just their own solo movie. Like, with them, fighting Mr. Nobody and then beating them. Next up, we have a Lucifer movie. And I know that sounds insane. And this will not be based off of the TV show version. Even though I love that version more than the comics, this will be based off the comic version. And this will be, Lucifer creating his own sort of world. And yeah, this will tie into the whole multiverse thing because he created his own world. Basically, be exactly what the graphic novel was. Except sort of split up into 2 movies. Yep, I said 2 movies because this will be a 2-parter movie. Part 1 would be, him creating his world and then mostly living in it. And part 2 would be, him still living in it and then the destruction of the world. Because the antimatter wave, because it has started. But yeah, in the end credit scene, you'll find out, oh hey, the antimatter has started. And soon it will cloud the entire multiverse into nothing but ashes. And then a new multiverse will be created. And Lucifer, he'll find that out, escape his multiverse before it be destroyed, and go, well, not, why I say multiverse, escape his world before it gets destroyed, and then go to the main Earth, which is, at this time, Earth 1. Also, while Lucifer, in the end, he's traveling to the multiverse, we'll see a whole bunch of other multiverses getting destroyed, like the Sandman multiverse. We'll see his source suit, and see that to get destroyed. We'll also see the Sweet Tooth multiverse. We'll see that, the Sweet Tooth, why I keep saying multiverse, okay, the world's getting destroyed, and we'll see, Sweet Tooth Earth, man, I forgot the name of the graphic novel, but those are basically just, I forgot the name, Vertigo comics. But yeah, also we would see I already said Sweet Tooth, but also Watchmen. We will see, Rorschach there and his world getting destroyed. We also see a couple of DC worlds like that will be in the past live action, like Birds of Prey, and a couple more. Okay, we'll see a couple more. But at this point, those are just the main ones. I'm gonna point out the Vertigo ones, just to be a cool cameo there. How Lucifer is gonna be the only Vertigo in the main DCU, or the only Vertigo main story in the DCU. Next up, after Lucifer, you would think that we would go small like with the story. Okay, I mean we would go bigger with the story, but no, we're actually going smaller, and this will be the Flash versus the Rogues. But yeah, it'll just be a simple story with the Kid Flash, who's now the Flash, versus the Rogues. Captain Cold, he'll be the main villain. Mirror Master, all the Rogues, and then in the end, it'll take place over some time. But in the end, he beats all the Rogues, puts them in Iron Heights. And that's basically all I gotta say for this, okay? It'll take a while. This could work as a TV show, but I want it to be a movie. So the Flash, you will see, he has sort of a new suit, like the last time, because in the last show, he just had, basically, a darker version of the main Barry Allen suit. But now he has, his classic, Kid Flash, mixed with the Flash suit. So he officially become, the full-on new Flash, that already happened, the Kid Flash TV show, or the Flash Family TV show from Phase 5, but now he's officially, because he now got a movie, so now he's officially the Flash. So next up, the post-credit scene is the Flash, trying to go meet Impulse after telling him his whole story. He wants to go see the whole Flash family, because now Impulse, he is currently in the future, again, doing something. And by doing something, I mean, tracking down sort of old Rogue. But when he's time traveling, he gets sort of, stopped by antimatter wave, and then he's just confused on what that was, okay? But then we find out that, he tried to travel to the future, and then because, the future, if you piece it all together, I'm not going to say it, but if you piece it all together, you know what I'm trying to say about how the future is basically gone. Yeah, I just said it, I know, because the antimatter wave, so he can't, travel to the future, but he goes back in time, he's thinking about what's going on, and then right when that happens, we see Impulse, and he came back before the whole antimatter wave hit his time, and it says that he needs to warn, Wally. And that'll be the end of the movie. Let's go to the next one. Next, we have a much, much, much smaller scale story with the question, and this is basically just him, going on, like he's a detective here, and this is basically just him, sort of his origin, but also, him going on detectives, investigation and try to find out some murderers, and yeah, in the end, obviously he finds out who the murderer is, and that is actually Vigilante. But Vigilante, in the end, he ended up getting killed by someone. That someone is called Peacemaker. And yeah, we would have seen him in Suicide Squad Season 5. But now we officially see him again. And we know that he's not gone. This will be leading into his show. But yeah, the question, he would, this would basically be like his own solo story, nothing big. Yeah, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have the Lanterns TV show, and this will be basically going over all the Lanterns, and not just that, okay? This will be the Guardians, they'll be like sort of the main characters, they'll be like kind of the Watcher and What If. And they'll be going over all the Lantern Corps and leaders, and yeah, and we will see like a whole bunch of the Lanterns that we see in the previous movies in here, and this is after the whole White Lantern Corps became Lanterns of them all, I guess you can say, and yeah. Ever since then, the Lanterns, they have sort of lived in peace, but they know that won't last long, because the Guardians, they have something to tell us, okay? They have something to tell us about the Anti-Monitor. In the last episode, we get a whole sort of origin about how everything, the White Lanterns, all of them, has been leading up to stop the Anti-Monitor, and after that, they don't know what happened, whether they lose or win, but they know they had to try to do their best. And yeah, from the moment that Hal Jordan was recruited, this was the Guardians' plan, to try and get him a part of the White Lanterns, and be the Lantern of them all, and be able to defeat the Anti-Monitor. But of course, they don't know, because after they fight the Anti-Monitor first lands on Earth, they can't see what happens next. So they have no clue what's going to happen if they win or lose. But after what happened in The Flash, versus Rogue post-credit scene, it ain't looking good for them. Next up, we have a Teen Titans movie, which will be the Titans Origins. And by that, I mean Hawk and Dove, I guess you can say kind of origins. Wonder Girl, Aqualad, Robin, they will appear before. And yeah, this will be before, obviously, Batman Dark City, we can say that. Because at this point in time, Dick Grayson is still Robin, not Nightwing. But yeah, in the end movie, he'll become Nightwing. But the Teen Titans, it'll basically be them fighting Deathstroke, who'll be the main villain. And yeah. But they beat Deathstroke, and this is kind of like, not the Jewish contract, okay, not even close, but just like a normal Deathstroke versus the Teen Titans story, and this is where he gets his hatred, because Robin, okay, he accidentally takes out, Deathstroke's eye, but also, he gets Deathstroke's son, not Jericho, Wade Wilson, killed, because the building collapsed on him, and this is where he gets his hatred, for obviously Dick Grayson and mostly Robin, of course. And he plans to take everything away from him, and of course it'll take time, and that'll lead into another movie that we'll eventually get to. Next up, we have a Peacemaker TV show, and this will basically be, obviously his origins mixed with present day. It'll basically be like what James Gunn Peacemaker show will be, which is his origins obviously mixed with present day, also sort of being under Argus, or the crew that Matt Waller worked for, except at this point in time, Matt Waller is dead. But now there's sort of a new person rising up, and Peacemaker wants to stop them, but also the person, that he's rising up has sort of dirt and has location on his father. And Peacemaker, one thing he loves, okay, he would do anything for his father. So then we see him just be an assassin. Yeah, in the end, we get sort of a final fight, with the main crew, but then they also hired another assassin just in case Peacemaker goes rogue, and that is actually, Deathstroke. But yeah, Peacemaker fights Deathstroke. He loses really bad, okay? It's Deathstroke versus Peacemaker. Who do you think's gonna win? Peacemaker, he loses a lot, okay? Yeah. But in the end, Deathstroke, while, Peacemaker was able to kill all of the Argus people, Deathstroke, he was still getting paid. So he did what he had to do, and, R.I.P. Peacemaker. And actually, he's dead for real this time. He's dead. And, yeah, so Peacemaker, R.I.P. He's gone. He's with Red Flag, Deadshot, and all of them. But, yeah. So, obviously, also I've got to say, in this Suicide Squad Season 5, I will make, a change to Rick Flag's death. Obviously, Rick Flag, he would sacrifice himself, but Deathstroke, he would die the way Rick Flag did in the Suicide Squad movie. And yeah, okay, Peacemaker would have killed him by putting something through his heart, and then Bloodsport would shot him in the neck, because those are sort of the trio: Deadshot, Rick Flag, and and Bloodsport. So revenge for a Deadshot. He was sort of shot Peacemaker in the neck, but he was survived, like in the post-credit scene of the Suicide Squad movie. But let's get back to this TV show. So Peacemaker, he's actually dead this time because Deathstroke killed him. And we'll see how much of a professional assassin that Deathstroke is. Because Peacemaker, he killed Vigilante. But then, of course, Deathstroke, he killed Peacemaker. Okay? So that shows a lot how, more of a pro that Deathstroke is and how much of a threat he is. We saw him in Teen Titans, where he was sort of just starting out. But this is his present day after he lost his eye. And this is 10 years after the Teen Titans movie taking place in present day. So what I'm trying to say is that this will take place in present day, where he's much more brutal, and that's sort of setting up like how he's going to be much more brutal in the next Teen Titans movie when he comes back. And yes, I know I killed Peacemaker in his own show. Okay, I know I'm absolutely crazy. How can I do that to a character played by John Cena? But this won't be the last time he appears, because obviously, flashbacks. But this will be the last time he appears in present day, because he's dead. But that'll provide huge shock for the audience, but also make well for the story, and also like how the main character he lost, because his father will have been killed by the agency. And then, well, obviously, when the building exploded, his father would have been killed. And then Peacemaker would have been killed by Deathstroke. Next up, we have the Shazam movie, and this will be the exact same as the actual movie, except in post-credits, turn out the wizard, turned over his sort of mantle, because he can't do this anymore. He's getting much weaker, and it's not because of Dr. Seismic, it is because, the antimatter wave is getting stronger, which means that he's getting weaker. Plus, he's already been hurt by Darkseid. His whole, Shazam family had been killed. But now, it'll be the exact same as the actual movie that we got, except with that ending, the reason, why he decided to become, decided to give his power away to Billy Batson. But yeah, let's move on to the next thing. Next up, we have the Legion of Superheroes, which will be, obviously about the Legion of Superheroes, and the beginning, they recruit Booster Gold and Blue Beetle, the original, or the second one, what do you want to call him, but they recruit him, part of the team, and they of course join, but the main villain here is General Zod, the main one of the universe, because he's back, and this would be kind of like how, this would have been mentioned in the Supergirl TV show. I don't know the one I did, I'm talking about the actual CW one. This would have been mentioned, and I decided to base the whole TV show off of this. That's not canon, but still. So I'm technically stealing this idea from the TV, that other TV show. This is not, that have not been mentioned, the actual, my version of the Supergirl TV show, for the DCEU. But for the CW one, yeah, I'm basing the whole plot off of that. But yeah. So here, they will fight General Zod, they'll beat him along with Booster Gold's help, and they decide, hey, how about, you guys become a part of the member, become a member of the Legion of Superheroes. And, well, how can they refuse? They become a member of the Legion of Superheroes, and they protect the past and future. But now, we get sort of another tease to antimatter, where, there's a new mission, and that is to save the entire universe. And that is because in the future, it has been erased from existence, okay? Things are starting to erase, and that means that, the antimatter wave is coming in, but then the Legion of Superheroes, they're have to go back to the past and see if it's still there. But, of course, it's not. And they're going to warn all the superheroes, but the post-credit scene is them actually meeting Firestorm, and Firestorm is, warning them, because he found out, hey, y'all are superheroes, because I know Booster Gold and Blue Beetle. Wait, how are you alive, Blue Beetle? Yeah, and Blue Beetle has, no idea what he means by how are you alive, but we'll get into that another time. Next up, we have a Jonah Hex movie, which will take place in a vast multiverse, and this will basically be a normal cowboy flick, with, Jonah Hex trying to stop the sheriff and the governor of this time, and then in the end he gets a scar on his face, and, this is him also collecting bounties, okay? This is basically just him collecting bounties, stopping the, sheriff, and sort of the, whatever you call it, what the governor would be, or the president would be in that town. But yeah, he was so the hero of the story in the end, he kills all of them. He kills the bounties, our bad people, but there's one of them who's actually a good person who he works with. And then he kills, obviously, the main sheriff. He kills the governor, or whatever you want to call him. And then, in the end, we live happily ever after. Until the post-credits scene, the antimatter wave come in, him being teleported by the Monitor. Okay, we will see the Monitor again, and then he gets teleported away, and then we will see his world die. Next up, we have the Seven Soldiers of Victory, which will be basically, obviously, the Seven Soldiers of Victory. And then we will see that like a lot of people are like, oh, how are you gonna put Green Arrow and Roy Harper also Stripe in there? Well, the answer, I was gonna do something like where they travel back in time and they meet all the other heroes like Vigilante, all of them. But yeah, they fight like well, they're obviously 7 Sword in Victory, but they fight the Dragon King, who like the main villain here, and then in the end they beat the Dragon King. But yeah, the main character here, I guess I can say, is like the Shining Knight, just like in Star Wars, like how he was in that. Here, like the Shining Knight, or I forgot, I'm pretty sure his name is like the Shining Knight. Like he will fight the Dragon King in the end. He will decapitate the Dragon King, and that's why he is not in the Injustice Society movie, or like where they time travel back in time, because well, he's dead because he got decapitated by the Shining Knight. Well, next up, we're going back to TV shows with the Tornado Twins. And Tornado Twins will basically be, well, them going back in time after the anti-matter wave hit. And them also, like, trying to fight some parademon, not parademons, like the anti-matter, the monitor sort of demon, I forgot their names. But yeah, they fight them through time, but they also encounter Nurse Speedster. And that other Speedster is actually Danny West. So they team up with Danny West, and it turns out that Danny West, like, he was obviously in the Flashpoint movie, and after that, he sort of just disappeared. And that is because, well, he was stuck in time. But yeah, even though, like, he was in the Justice League War Earth 2, that is because, Justice League War Earth 1. After that, because of Flash travel back in time, something has changed, and that includes Danny West being stuck in time, or be trying to be erased from existence and being replaced with Wally West, even though he already, you get what I'm trying to say. He was already there. Yeah. So now, because Wally West and Danny West cannot live in the same time, like Wally West, like he makes an appearance, okay, like in episode 3, he's the main character now, after that. And then, Danny West tries to kill him, but the Tornado Twins stop him. And that's basically it. Danny West trying to kill Wally West, so he can come back in this timeline, because Wally West's still around. Like, Wally West supposed to be a replacement for Danny West after Flashpoint. So, he has to try to kill Wally West, and the timeline has to put Danny West back in this present time. But in the end, the Tornado Twins and the present-day Flash, aka Wally West, will try to stop him. In the end, they do stop him. We also got, like, a sort of, like, a side villain, like, who Danny West will work with, aka, well, his name is Godspeed. I'm pretty sure y'all know that. But yeah, after this, Danny West, he escapes, and it's like, if he cannot be, Wally West, okay, if he cannot be, like, a new Flash, or whatever, he decides he's gonna be the Reverse Flash, and then Danny West becomes the Reverse Flash, which completely, stops everything that he went through, okay? Like, he sort of got, like, a small redemption arc, okay, after, because he was under control, like, in, Flashpoint, about the Ebar Thawne, he was under mind control, but now he's fully become, so it's fleshing out his character arc of becoming, like, a good person, like, to a controlled, like, to a victim, to now the, like the villain, like he is fighting Wally West and he's trying to become the new Reverse Flash, and now he's going to be like sort of the main Reverse Flash now that Dawn's gone, and then he's gonna fight obviously Wally West Flash, keep trying to kill him until the timeline will put him back inside his place. Also, I know a lot of people are going back, oh, why did you call this a Tornado Twins TV show if this is mostly about Wally West? This is not mostly about Wally West. While this is not mostly about the Tornado Twins. This is mostly about Danny West and they're heroes, sort of the Tornado Twins. But this is also going to Tornado Twins origin, Grant Wild father, aka Barry Allen. But yeah, and having to deal with Iris West, aka their mother, who will be a great mother. But yeah, so this will be the origins, and that's why I called it Tornado Twins, because they'll be like the main characters, even though Danny West, he'll be like the main character. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, let's move on to the next the next project. Next up, we have a Young Justice TV show. Where Kid Flash, okay, Kid Flash, like before he became the Flash, Aqualad before he became Aquaman, Miss Martian, and a lot of people are going like, oh, but Miss Martian, she's introduced after that happened with the with Kid Flash becoming the Flash and Superman becoming Superman. But all I gotta say is that is because I'm just gonna make a small retcon from earlier in the video where I said that Martian Manhunter would meet Miss Martian there. Miss Martian, she already been a character, but then she been captured by White Martian. That's why Martian Manhunter goes and is trying to save her, and then finds the White Martian with the starfish on their face. But yeah, so Miss Martian, she will have been introduced at this time, and then Superboy, he will have not became Superman yet. But yeah, this will be like when they're first working together, and this will be before. Okay, this will be a real throwback. This will be before like Robin joined the Titans. This will be before all that. This will be a real throwback. Yeah, so basically here they'll have to team up, they'll fight Cadmus, and then well they beat Cadmus, but it turns out that Cadmus is being led by Vandal Savage, and then that's sort of tying into another thing where Vandal Savage, he tells him run away, and at this point like he's still a villain, okay, because this is before this is before after Justice League of course, but this is before he sort of got his redemption arc 102 or 103 I mean or World War Zero. Yeah. So now, they fight him, and in the end, they beat him, and we see them in present day, okay? This would be, the end will be, in present day, because this would be a TV show. Did I say movie? If I said movie, I'm sorry. But this will be a TV show, live-action TV show, and the end, we will see, Miss Martian, Nightwing, and also Aqualad. Okay, at this point, it's Aquaman, and Miss Martian is, Martian, the main Martian. And who's she's kind of like a white Martian. It's shows herself who she really is, a white Martian. Also, we will see Superman or Superboy at this point in time is Superman, and they also are reconnecting. This will be basically a flashback movie where we're all sort of drinking and they're just having a fun time. Okay, that'll be the end of it. And I said movie again, my bad. But yeah, the end of the show would basically be. It turns out that was a whole flashback time, where they're all just having fun time, thinking about the past, and then them. When they're sort of younger, when they first teamed up, and then we would have a happy end, where they're all laughing while drinking. And let's go on to the next project because that'll be the end of the show. Next up, we have a Legion of Doom TV show where we get basically all Legion of Doom coming together, and this will be Danny West. Okay, you guys see right there. We see Reverse Flash and Lex Luthor. Both of them will be replaced with Lena Luthor, who will be in Lex Luthor's place, and Danny West will be replaced in Reverse Flash will be replaced with the other Reverse Flash, okay, Danny West. At this time, both of them are dead; they're not coming back. But yeah, so this will be sort of an origin TV show, and the reason they're all formed is because they're trying to prevent something, and that's actually the anti-monitor. So this will fully lead in onto the Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah, we will see them fight the anti-monitor demons. I forgot what they're called. Okay, the Crisis I'm just gonna call them the Crisis demons. But yeah, we see them fight them, and obviously a couple of them end up getting killed. But a couple of Legion Doom members end up getting killed, but in the end they sort of succeed. And they're at the end of the show. Okay, the ending of the show is them coming face to face with the heroes, and then of course. They will learn about the crisis. The reason that they know is because Val Savage sort of warned them, because he's a part of Legion of Doom now. And even though Legion of Doom, that was already a thing in the Justice League movie, now it's being reformed to try to save the entire multiverse. And then the Justice League will come face to face with them, like I already said. And Firestorm, for Justice League, they don't believe him. They don't believe they don't believe the Legion of Doom. But then Firestorm comes up and says that they're telling the truth. Okay, and so it's Justice League Dark, and a couple other heroes like Jonah Hex. He'll be there along with the Monitor. People from other multiverses mostly. And then in the end, we will see Lucifer flying down his wings and saying, hey, I don't know any of you, but they're telling the truth. And all of them who are you? And that'll be the end of the show. Okay, that'll be the last part of the show with them asking, who are you? And that's obviously Lucifer. And post-credits in the show with us finally seeing the anti-monitor in his sort of suit. And yeah, he would be saying, next up, we only have about 100 Earths left. We're going to go after them. Or 1,000, whatever you call it. Because, he basically consumes Earth's fast. Yeah. And next up we have Crisis on Infinite Earths. So it'll be part 1, okay? And this will be called, Crisis on Infinite Earths, okay? Or you can call it Crisis Part 1 or Crisis on Infinite Earths. And here, this is what everything has been leaning on towards. Okay, we'll see the Anti-Monitor's origin. And yeah, this will be a 3-part movies, okay? We'll start off with Crisis on Infinite Earths. And then Infinite Crisis will be Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2. It will not follow the comic story. Okay, everything like Crisis on Infinite Earths. This will be that story, but I'll have to tell them different stuff. But yeah, Infinite Crisis and the Final Crisis as the last Crisis movie. But yeah, all of these will follow the same story with the Anti-Monitor, all of that, also Superboy Prime. But yeah, then we see this takes place right after, okay? Right after Legion of Doom, a TV show ending. And then we will see Superboy come down. Okay, by Superboy Prime, or Superman Prime, whatever you call him. You will see him come down and Firestorm about to fight him, but of course not go well. And the reason that Superman has been collecting power, Superman Prime has been collecting his other people's power because he needs to stop the Anti-Monitor. He thinks he can stop the Anti-Monitor. But of course, that probably won't go well. Then he decides, hey, I tried my best, but I decided all of us. We have to work together, and then we see every single hero, okay, that is alive at this point, here together. Legion of Superheroes, Justice League Dark, what's left of the Justice League, Suicide Squad, what's left of that. Also, Deathstroke, Legion of Doom, and everyone, even from like Lucifer, Jonah Hex, all of them are here, and they have to try to stop the Anti-Monitor. But we also bring back some other people who are not, like, who have not gotten moved, like, in the main DCU. Okay, and that is actually, like, Smallville Superman. We will bring him back. We also bring back, like, Brandon Routh Superman. And at this point, like, I'll basically, just get rid of, like, I'll basically just get rid of, like, what, CW. I'll get rid of that Christ Line first. They never did Christ Line first in my version. Okay, that crossover never happened because it wasn't really, in my opinion, wasn't really the best, to be honest. I may have to rewatch it. I remember liking it, but then, suddenly not liking it after a little bit of time. But yeah, I probably have to rewatch it. But I like, I'm going to erase that from existence. Like, in this version, like, reality, that never happened. So Brandon Routh, he never went through that whole thing as Superman. But yeah, his Superman will never happen. Like, Ben and Christ Line for Earth, like the CW version. You get what I'm trying to say, I'm pretty sure. But we will still have CW, like, characters in this, like Mick Rory. We will have him. Why did I specifically say Mick Rory? Barry Allen or Green Arrow from the CW, Barry Allen from CW, they'll all be there. Okay, also Supergirl from the CW. It'll basically be all around the multiverse. All of them be back. We also get Robert Pattinson as Batman. Like, at this point in time, like he'll be like the past Batman, but here in the multiverse, it'll be like the Batman version. But yeah, also we have Michael Keaton back. We have Christian Bale back. Okay, we will have mostly everyone back for these characters. We have Doom Patrol characters back, Titans, like from the TV shows. It'll just be a big event. So then, they try to fight the Anti-Monitor for the first time. It does not go well. And of course, well, they lose. And they decide, hey, let's not let this be the end. And the end of this is sort of like a hopeful thing where they just simply sort of lose, but at the same time, it wasn't a complete loss because they were able to destroy the main device that was on the Anti-Matter wave, pushing it back. Okay, they have a couple more, weeks to try and fight the Anti-Monitor, and so a couple more hours. Before he comes with a plan B to destroy the entire multiverse, let's move on to the next one. Next up, we have Infinite Crisis, or Crisis Part 2, where things really start to get picked up, okay? We'll see all the characters. We'll have, we'll find out that, this, Brandon Routh Superman and Leonard Carbone, they have, sort of, a relationship, because at this point in time, they'll be the same age, because, like, if we could caught in, Richard, I forgot, Christopher Reeves, if we could have gotten him back, then that would be a thing, but because he's, like, passed away, and, there's no way me actually, affecting that, like, in this version of reality. If I was making the DCU, there's no way me affecting that. So, like, we will see that happen. Like, they will have a thing, Brandon Routh, and then Carter's Wonder Woman, like, Brandon Routh Superman, and I'll be fleshed out. Also, like, we will see Todd Hecklin Superman, and, Mr. Bonoy's Supergirl. They'll have a better relationship, and, like, cousinship, or what we call it. Like, where, they're basically best friends in this reality. They're basically best friends. Okay, so in the end, the Anti-Matter, this is where stuff started to get real, like, where they don't have a couple weeks anymore. Okay, because a couple hours later, like, after that, I really have a couple days left, and now, they decide, hey, we're going to strike the Anti-Matter, he's not going to strike us, and they decide to go after him, and it does not go well. It does not go well at all. Because in the Anti-Matter, he basically wipes the floor with them, okay? He's like, this is his territory now. He destroys them. And during the midpoint of the movie, we would get the iconic cover of Christ on Infinite Earths, where, like, the Anti-Monitor, he kills, Melissa Benoist, Supergirl, and, the CW version. It's how Hecklin's have to hold her, and after that, he kills Linda Carter's Wonder Woman, and then, Brandon Routh Superman has to hold her, and then we get that iconic cover where everything's going on. Well, those are the main things where that's happening. And then the Anti-Matter will go away, but all the heroes, they have to watch as their entire world is destroyed and consumed by the Anti-Matter wave. And, in the end, Anti-Matter, he kills Marno Vu, aka the Monitor. Okay, he also kills Mixes Pillick. and then he destroyed the entire multiverse. It's all gone. But yeah, also like I need to say, all these movies they'll be like 3 hours long. That's why you have to sort of split them up into 3 parts. They'll all be like 3 hours long. Even though I'm not really going that much into it, that's because well, this video is already pretty long. I cannot have it be an hour. I cannot have this be an hour video. But yeah, let's move on to the next one. So Crisis or Final Crisis that this movie would be called will basically be them everyone fixing everything, all the heroes they'll be fixing everything, and they'll bury all the ones they lost. And like everyone that they died in this, they will not be returning. Okay, Melissa Benoist, Supergirl, this will take place during season 6, or like let's say, but after season 6 when it will come out. So like her character, like in this, like she will be dead. Okay. Well, that's not if she dies. Like in that's if she does not die, or if she does not die in the Supergirl season 6. If so, then I'll change that. Like if I was in charge of WB and all that. But yeah. So now, they end up fixing everything. They beat the Anti-Monitor after all this, and this will be another 3 hour movie. This will be like 3 hours and 30 minutes. So this will be a long movie. And the end, we get like what the comic was. Okay, like some of the Superman, like Brandon Routh Superman. Okay, we will see him along with some other heroes sort of like on the moon, okay, and like they'll sacrifice himself. But then out of nowhere, Alexander Luthor, like who would have been a character in this? Or he would be replacing Mixapillic. Like he would turns out to be alive. Mixapillic would turn out to be alive, and like he makes like sort of Paradise Dimension, like with Lois Lane for Brandon Routh for Superman. They all go in there. All the heroes that sacrifice themselves, they all go in there, and that's where they are from now on. And we also see a cameo, Henry Cavill Superman, who at this time would have been dead because the whole Justice League war on part 3, he would have been dead, but we will still see him. And then he says that hey, this multiverse has never looked better than ever. And it turns out that there's still multiverse, but 5 Earths, okay, the Jonah Hex Earth, obviously Earth Prime, the main Earth, and a couple other Earths. They have been merged into one Earth. But yeah, man, I can't how many times I say Earth in this whole video. So that'll be the end of the my version DCU. Like the entire thing. They may add some other movies. They may have another event, but I'm not sure. Also, we will see like the Superboy Prime. Wonder what happened to him. He ends up going to Paradise Dimension 2. He ended up going to Paradise Dimension 2, and we have like sort of a cameo, Martin Stein. Martin Stein looking at him a little bit weird, and Superboy Prime or Superman Prime says that he's sorry, and Martin Stein says that he's knowing that he's forgiven because he's been watching everything. Everyone in Paradise Dimension has been watching everything. But yeah, that's it. That's the end of the video. Hope you all enjoy. Join myself for the next video, which will basically be me going over like what I'll do after the pitches and what I'm gonna do my YouTube channel next. Cause this is the last pitch I'm ever gonna do. But I hope you all enjoy. I ended off like a 50-minute video, which is a great way to end off the whole pitches series. But I hope you all enjoy it and see ya.